You know that feeling when you splurge on a cheap fish finder that looks sleek online, only to end up staring at a blurry, half-black screen while the fish are clearly smarter than the tech? I've been there, and the regret sticks with you every time you launch a new boat. That hesitation is what pushed me to actually sit down, compare a handful of mid-sized chart plotters, read the handful of reviews that exist, and then fire up the Garmin ECHOMAP UHD2 74sv with the GT54 Transducer for a full day on the water. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing that struck me was how the 7-inch touchscreen handled bright midday sun. I'm not talking about a vague, it's readable claim. The display really stayed bright enough that I could glance at depth readings while the sun was high over the Gulf, and the colors stayed true when I toggled between traditional sonar and the side-scan view. That matters because if you're out chasing a school near a structure, you can't afford to squint or lose the picture while you're adjusting your lure. Setting it up was surprisingly straightforward. I plugged the GT54 TM transducer into the existing mounting bracket on my boat, paired the unit over Wi-Fi, and the system automatically pulled in the Navionics Plus coastal charts that come built in. There was no need to download separate chart packs or wrestle with a third-party app. Within 10 minutes, I had a live sonar feed, a set of waypoints from a friend's recent trip, and a route ready to be pushed to my forced trolling motor. The wireless link between the Chartplotter and the motor felt like a natural extension of the boat's control panel rather than an afterthought gadget. Now, let's talk about real-world usage. I spent a Saturday on a shallow lake with lots of vegetation, then moved out to a deeper, more open section of the river. In the weed-choked area, the GT54's ClearV mode gave me a crisp view of the bottom without the typical fuzzy noise you see on cheaper units. I could actually see the stems and distinguish a solid drop-off from a soft sandbar, which let me avoid snagging my lure. When I switched to side V on the open water, the side-scan image filled the screen and revealed a school of bass about 30 feet off the bow. I was able to plot a quick course, send the route to the trolling motor, and stay on target without constantly rechecking the map. One practical strength that isn't often shouted about is the Wi-Fi sharing. After the trip, I used the built-in feature to email the sonar track and waypoint file directly to a friend who didn't have a Garmin. He was able to import the file into his own app and see exactly where the fish were biting that day. That level of data portability is handy for clubs or family outings where not everyone carries the same gear. However, the system isn't a perfect fit for every boater. The unit runs on a 12-volt source, and while it does pull a modest amount of power, you'll notice the battery drain if you leave the screen on for several hours without the engine running. On a small day boat with a limited battery bank, you'll want to keep an eye on that or consider a secondary battery. Also, the built-in Navionics Plus charts cover U.S. coastal waters beautifully, but if you fish inland lakes that aren't on the Navionics database, you'll need to purchase additional chart packs. That extra cost can add up, and it's something to factor in if your primary fishing grounds are off the coast. Who should consider buying the ECHOMAP UHD2? If you're a serious weekend angler who already has a decent trolling motor and you value a seamless integration between sonar, charting, and motor control, this unit is a logical step up. The clarity of the sonar modes and the ease of routing make it worth the price difference over a basic fish finder. It's also a solid choice for small charter operators who need to share data quickly with clients and want a reliable, glare-free display for longer days on the water. Who might skip it? If you're just getting started and your budget is tight, a simpler model without the side-scan capability may give you enough information to learn the basics without the extra expense of a built-in Wi-Fi transceiver and the higher-end touchscreen. Likewise, if you spend most of your time on a small lake with a modest battery, you could look at a lower power unit that sits on a portable power bank. The UHD2's feature set shines when you have the battery, the charts, and the willingness to use its wireless routing, but it can feel like overkill for a casual dockside fisherman. A hidden trade-off I discovered after a few trips is the learning curve of the side-scan interface. The screen defaults to a traditional sonar view, and you have to manually switch to the side V mode and adjust the sweep angle. It's not hard, but if you're used to a single press switch on older units, you'll need a minute or two.